It's really loud. We need to fix that real quick. But hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Today we're doing something that I've actually done before, but we're gonna do a little different. So a couple of times I have talked about where's the volume button on this? Oh, volume control. We're just gonna turn this way down. We don't need screaming in my ear. Also, the volume doesn't really matter. So, a couple of times I've done predictions. It's still so loud. And I know it's loud for you too. Uh, call this a new streamer setup. I can't even figure out a way to turn it down. Well, I hope you're all doing well. I'm gonna turn it down there. That's really loud for you guys. I apologize for that. All right, that should be. Oh, okay, yeah, it's a lot better. Oh, we definitely need to turn off the we're gonna turn off the announcers too here for a second. All right, so this is Madden 23. We're playing Madden 23 because I don't want to buy the new Madden. I usually buy. Oh goodness, I don't even want to say every other Madden. Um, Once in a while, I'll get Madden, and once in a while, I will, play a franchise mode. If it has a single player, maybe check out the single player and all that. Um, but yeah, so I don't, this might have been like a Humble Bundle too or something. I'm not sure. Uh, but I have it. And we're playing as the 2022 Dallas Cowboys, which some is definitely a group. Not the worst group in the world, but definitely not the best either. Ezekiel Elliott still on the team. Talk about a blast from the past. Uh, but yeah, so today I want to talk a little bit about some upcoming NFL games while playing this. Um, Show off my sick Madden skills during the stream. Oh god, there's demented Mike McCarthy too. The graphics in this game, not good. You would think for a company that makes a lot of money, they could do a lot better with a lot of things actually. If you notice me pressing my buttons too, I am holding a PlayStation controller, but it's only showing me Xbox. Now I have the Xbox controls pretty memorized, but just letting you know. If you notice a misclick or something, that's why. I'm gonna quickly also, I'm gonna turn this down over here because you're not really missing much. I can promise you that. Um, so, like I said, here to talk about the NFL picks for the week in a fun and interesting way. And starting off with just the first game that's been played and can't really say a pick for because the game's already over. But the Denver Broncos and the Raiders played. Now, for I don't want to say I believed in them, but I did pick the Raiders, but that wasn't because I believed in the Raiders. That's because I really don't believe in the Broncos. Now the Broncos beat my team this year, pretty badly actually. Um, and the Broncos are on a great win streak, but I'm not saying anything new when I say the Broncos might be one of the most fraudulent best teams in the NFL. Um, Look at that. Look at that. Uh, and it's really just Bo Nix. Now, I don't think Bo Nix is a bad quarterback like a lot of other people might say, but I do think Bo Nix needs more time to progress. I think too much is being expected of him at once. He's seeing levels of success that maybe he's just not ready for. Um, but regardless, they win, and they keep winning. So that's interesting. This is really distracting me. Like, what if I Would it be crazy to turn all the audio off? I think I might actually. Well, let's do the kickoff first. We're gonna turn the audio off. I mean, cause let's be honest, you're here for me, right? Like, you're here to hear my voice and to see me, if you're even here. Um, all two people watching this who care. It's such a weird cross pollination too, of like, hey, here, my channel is mostly gaming and things like that, but also like, hey, I want to do some sports things sometimes too. Makes sense, right? Um, but yeah, now I can actually think. Uh, the Broncos, I don't think are that good. And again, I'm not saying anything new with that. I think a lot of people agree that the Broncos aren't good. Um, we're in a weird point in the NFL where I feel like there's a lot of fraudulent teams with good records, and there's a lot of good teams with okay records, if that makes sense. Um, teams like, well, obviously like the Chiefs, where I think people are putting a lot of stock into the Chiefs, even though they've been playing okay. There have been flashes of brilliance against some pretty not great teams, against the Ravens, who would be one of those teams that are good, like the Chiefs, but also the record does not indicate it. Uh, but games like against the Raiders, who are notoriously bad this season. Sorry, the whole house just shook, and I'm not sure why. Um, and a couple others. That was strange. Thunderstorms likely to start. Is storming? Oh, I love that. Oh, I love rain so much. Um, I'm not gonna keep going on and on about them though. Okay. All I'm saying is it's a weird season. I don't think that's anything that's unique or new to say. It's weird. Anyways, let's get along to the picks now that we are 8 minutes in. But maybe you've been a little distracted by this Sterling Shepard catching the pass. 2022, Micah Parsons still on the team. Um, Crazy stuff, crazy stuff. I'm not even really picking and choosing um, the defensive plays. I'm just looking at it. Hey, Colts and Falcons. My Colts, they're not actually my Colts. Colts are my team. But I am a Daniel Jones believer. And I've always liked Daniel Jones, even though he played for the Giants, rivals of the Cowboys. I've always liked him as a player because I felt like he got kind of the short end of the stick on a lot of things. He was kind of like with who did I just say? Oh, with Bo Nix, where they're just you got these players that are just shoved in and they're expected to do excellent. I think about any other job on earth. It's like, would you expect that not getting paid millions eventually when you get your contract, um, and there's just high expectations. But I think there is a process that should be done. A process like Dak Prescott, who quarterback of the Cowboys, he had that chance to sit behind Tony Romo, and even I, it's something that people don't really mention a lot, but that year that Romo was injured but still on the bench, I think really, really helped Dak. And we saw it with Jordan Love, with Aaron Rodgers, even with someone like Bryce Young, who last year was benched and learned from Andy Dalton, and then we've seen him be better. By the way, my Carolina Panthers. I live in Carolina, so I'm allowed to claim them a little bit. Uh, Sneaky good. Not getting a lot of credit, but sneaky good. Um, don't be surprised if they end up making the playoffs because the NFC South is not good. Um, who we're talking about now, the Falcons, don't think they're going to win. I think they're going to lose. Talk about one of the most inconsistent teams in football. The Falcons will look like a playoff team one week, and then the next they get blown out against who knows who, the Dolphins, And when they played the Dolphins, it got blown. I was like, oh, the Dolphins are back. And then the next game, the Dolphins play. No, the Dolphins are not back. The Falcons just turned out to be not good. um, the game against the Panthers, you could say something like, the Panthers seem to be better than people thought, but they're not blowing people out, and then the opponent gets 0 points better. By the way, shout out to that run back I just had. Um, so basically, what I'm saying is, Colts, Daniel Jones, go him. I've always believed in him. Um, he's a very good B+ quarterback with potential to be like an A- for like a year, maybe two, but he'll always be solid, as long as he's not injured. And then the Falcons, you can't trust them. Um, you really can't. But they are motivated because that division is wide open. So who knows? Giants and Bears. I have the schedule pulled up over here, by the way. That's why I'm kind of looking over there. The Giants and the Bears. Now, I wanted to be a Giants believer, um, with Jackson Dart and, of course, Scadaboo, who got injured. Um, Neighbors, who got injured. Um, as a Cowboys fan, I'm like, yeah, I never wish injury on anyone. I'm always like, if 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 you're going to play the best, you want to beat the best. Um, but it seems like that fun redemption party, especially when they beat the Eagles. Can the Eagles just keep losing, please? Um, but it seems like their ship has sailed. It seems like Denver crushed them and cracked them. Um, who is Hamilton Sandwich? I hate to bother you on stream, but did I leave my wallet on your nightstand? Who's been to my nightstand? I don't think anyone's been to my nightstand. I don't know who this person is. Unless you're in here right now, which surprise to me. Hello. Uh you got me. Spooks. Um I have no idea who that is. But hi. Thanks for watching. You threw me off track. But as you can see, I'm trailing off about everything. Where I could easily just say the Bears are going to win because the Giants might not win again this year. They'll probably be competitive against like the Commanders and the Cowboys when they play them again because divisional games, but it's I think it's over for the New York Giants. And the Bears have something to play for too. That division is good record wise. I think the Vikings are way overrated, and I think the Packers are way too inconsistent, and I think the Lions are desperately trying to cling on to something that they're not anymore from the last couple seasons. Um, but yeah, go Bears. Patriots at Bucks. Now I remember saying in the first video that I made of these picks and things like that that I did not believe in the Bucks. I also on one of the podcasts. I'm sorry, I'm just pausing here. Say who dis. I genuinely don't know who is asking about their wallet on the nightstand. Um, but I mentioned how the way the Bucks were winning was unsustainable, and the way that their team was playing was unsustainable. And really, guys, it was that Jets game. Barely beating the Jets is not something to be proud of. It's not something to hang your hat on for the season. It's a show of concern, and it's a show of, hey, we gotta fix something. Um, so that being said, I also think the Patriots, who have a great record and who are breaking records, have been playing some tomato cans. They've been playing some really easy teams. Um, and I would not be surprised to start seeing them come back to earth. I think this is one of those trap games where people look at just records or look at recent play and they see that, well, the Patriots keep winning, the Bucks have been more inconsistent, especially compared to the beginning of the season. So we're going with Patriots, but I do think that the Buccaneers, especially since it is at home, um, I do think that the Buccaneers do have a shot. They do have a chance. Um, would I pick them? Yeah, yeah, I would. I would pick the Bucks. Go for the Bucks. Bills versus Dolphins. The Bills look like they had a coming out party against the Chiefs. They're also made to play the Chiefs. That's in my opinion. That is the team. They practice to play the Chiefs in the playoffs every year. Um, I would not be surprised if at this point they have been drafting or signing people to specifically beat the Chiefs, especially in their division, in which now it's looking like it's having some competition with the Patriots starting to be good again. And then the Dolphins were always kind of there, but I don't think anyone kind of took them too seriously. Uh, but they never had to really worry about not making the playoffs because their division was weaker. That might be different now. Um, but I think after last week's win, especially with those iffy couple of weeks before, they're ready to they're ready to do good, you know. And by that I mean I think the Bills are back, and I think the Dolphins are done. I think the Dolphins are very done. Um, Next game, according to this list, you have the Browns versus the Jets, and based off trading and things like that, the Jets are going full blow up mode, which I think they should. Um, the Browns, by some odd reasons, it's hard to say that they're out because they don't have a quarterback, which sounds it's the story of the Browns. But with that division, a lot of people are still counting the Ravens in. I'm not trying to say that the Browns are the Ravens at all, but I'm saying that their record wise is pretty similar. You never know, especially in a competitive division like that, a low record competitive division. And I do think they will beat the Jets. I think, like I said, the Jets are done. I'm gonna kind of go a little quicker through some of these. Saints and Panthers. I think the Panthers, like I said, are sneaky good. I think they're even a playoff team at this point, um, especially with that weaker division. So many people just want to give it to Tampa, but I think Tampa has some glaring problems, especially with injuries that are starting to really show. Um, and the Panthers, they just keep on trucking, and I think they're going to easily beat the Saints. The Saints were the what if team of, oh, they're bad. Oh, what if they're not bad? And then it turned out, no, they're bad. Um, so I think their season's done too. Ravens at Vikings. Like I said, I skipped over Jags versus Texans. Um, I don't know what to make of the Texans. I really don't. I think that I actually think that the Texans will win this game. I think the Texans are going to kind of go on a micro run, and by that I mean like they're going to start winning some games, but not in a row. They will lose some, also. Uh, and the Jags are just too inconsistent. Um, so I would go with Texans. Ravens, Vikings. Vikings are frauds. The Vikings should have kept Sam Darnold. Um, I have zero faith in JJ McCarthy, the little bit that he's played. I think he's shown some moments of brilliance, but I think that's because defenses just don't know him yet. We see this all the time with new rookie quarterbacks. Um, how they make amazing plays and stuff like that. Just because no one's seen them play before. And then usually the second year, like we saw with CJ Stroud, like we're seeing with Jane Daniels when he's not injured. I'll see that. This is how you know it's a video game. A pick six from the Cowboys defense? No, that wouldn't happen. Um, but yeah, I've lost faith in the Vikings. Cardinals at Seahawks. Cardinals aren't great. And they just beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys aren't great either. The Cardinals haven't been bad though. The two games before they beat the Cowboys, they were close. They were in the game for sure. They almost won it, both those games. But I think Seattle is the dark horse and I've probably said that about 3 teams already, but I don't care. Seattle is definitely a dark horse conference championship game team. Um, they're good. Their offense is good. Their defense is good. They're the definition of solid team. Um, Rams and 49ers. That is an interesting one. The 49ers, I think, stole one earlier in the season when these two teams played. Um, I think the Rams are going to make quick work. They're not going to let another one get away. The Rams had a couple of games that they let get away between the Eagles game and the 49ers game, but I think the Rams are really, really good. Um, they just make some mental errors sometimes. But I would go with the LA Rams. Lions versus Commanders. Commanders are done. And I honestly mean that. The Commanders are done. I don't think they think it's their season. I think between injuries and inconsistencies and the magic wearing off, last year was a magic year. A lot of Hail Mary, oh, we won right at the end type of things. It got exploited in the playoffs against the Eagles. Um, and now we're just seeing a team that's not bad, but now that they're kind of figured out and that their system is kind of exposed, we're seeing them struggle a lot more. And I think those struggles will continue. Steelers versus Chargers. I think the obvious answer is the Chargers. The Chargers have been kind of banged up. They've been struggling a little bit. The Steelers did look a little better, but I'm still going to go Chargers because I still don't believe in the Steelers. I don't believe in the longevity of it. I don't believe in that defense. Aaron Rodgers has been impressive so far, but also Aaron Rodgers, I think, is still one hit away. And that hit, it doesn't, every single hit that he takes, it keeps adding up. And the later into the season we get, the less confident I'm going to be in him playing. Just because of, it's not just because of his age, but also of his history of being injured now, too. Taking both those things into account. Anyways, beat Chargers. And then we have our final Eagles versus Packers. The Packers, one of the most inconsistent good teams in the NFL, losing to the likes of like the 49ers, or not the 49ers, the Browns, who aren't great. And oh, look, 2 picks. Man, don't you miss our defense? It actually was kind of this good. They lost to the Browns in an embarrassing fashion. And then they lost to the Panthers, which, again, I think the Panthers are good, but not going to Lambeau and beat the Packers good. But just like the other games, I think they will bounce back. And I'm going to slightly, because I a little bit believe it, but also slightly because I want this to happen. I think the Packers will beat the Eagles. And that's what I got. That is my predictions. Those are my picks for, what is it, week 9? Week 10? Whatever it is. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. If you like videos like this, let me know so I can continue to make them and produce them. That person who said that they left their wallet on my nightstand, they just think that they're a funny person, I guess, because they never... Hamilton sandwich. I don't like that. You know what we're going to do? I don't like that. So we're going to... I get rid of them. Because we don't like that. But yeah, that's the end of it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.